Okay, you. Let's go.
What makes you feel beautiful?
When you're all dressed up and the inner beauty radiates on the outside.
When I was a young girl, beauty really wasn't discussed as far as a product or a regimen or what to do. It was more like, you are a pretty brown girl, or you look like your daddy, you look like your mama, you're so cute, you look like your grandma. It was just more complimentary, but it was never like, here's what you need to do to keep your beauty intact. My father appreciated my mother's beauty. It's really funny because when I look at old pictures of them together, I was like, how did you guys even meet? Like, what was it? And he's like, your mom fooled me.
So my mom is definitely ready. Like if you look at pictures of her from like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s on down, she's always ready. So I asked her before, when my dad was alive, I was like, how did y'all even hook up? Because they are complete opposite. And he was like, well, she was pretending like she was some magazine model. And she turned out to be the church lady.
We got the original Golden Girls. We got the original Golden Girls up in the house. Check it out.
Yeah, we used to go and look at the TV at one or two of the neighbors. And my daddy got tired of that, so he went on to Peach. We took Peach and Esther Lee's house too.
Oh yeah, but that's when we didn't go to Pete's.
And Daddy said, let me get you all a TV so you can have it at home. I guess then the peeps start coming to our house, I guess.
Daddy was smart.
Oh yeah.
She's gorgeous, a natural beauty, beautiful hair, skin, personality inside and out. So he always called her my little black darling. My mother looks very poised and beautiful in these black and white photos of her. There's one particular photo where they're in a club, and it's so funny because my mom literally is the church lady. So when I first saw this picture, I was like, what are you doing in the club? Is that alcohol on the table? She's like, I was drinking water. Those pictures are so reminiscent of the times, Black culture, Black beauty back then. This had to have been maybe like the 50s or the 40s or something like that, 50s, 60s maybe. And so that time is very reminiscent. When you look at like the elegance, it was very much, style and grace. As of now, we're a little ratchet. Every now and then you see stuff like that, but it's definitely that era. I'm an old lady, an old man's baby, the miracle baby. My parents had me in their 40s. So when I came along, it was sort of like this rebirth. I was everybody's baby because everybody's baby was literally grown. I was definitely like, the one that everybody loved on, spoiled, and, was constantly told like I was beautiful and that I could do anything that I want to do. And the encouragement was there. And so friends would always say like, it's like somebody gave you a superhero cape and you never took it off. Because I was sort of allowed to dream and to like be imaginative of like what it is I wanted to do, that I could accomplish all these things. When that confidence is built in, and you're able to really think that you can achieve these things as a child, and when you actually make them come to life, as an adult or a young adult, it just goes back for me, to those days of my father building my confidence, not just beauty, but, sort of holistically well-rounded. What do you want to let the people know?
Just take the picture.
What do you think your biggest accomplishment in life has been?
Oh, I guess most of the time my friends always say how I've encouraged them, how I've helped them to grow, to get a home, or to do better on jobs, or to be more encouraged, help them on their way, being prayerful with them.
If I could go back to a decade and revisit Black beauty, I would have to say it's probably like the 70s. I think growing up and watching Soul Train and watching the commercials that were on Soul Train, right? So you have to remember it's like the programming and the advertisers were all based on whatever the program was. So when you watch Soul Train, you got products that were meant for Black people. So I think, that was like interesting, and it was exciting to sort of see watching people dance and their style and their hair. And so I think, back then it was like we were borrowing from what we saw on Soul Train as far as fashion statements, as far as hair and what they were doing. It was like, okay, this is it, Soul Train. And the funny story is when I moved to California, my cousins in Alabama would watch Soul Train. They're like, we think we saw you today. And I was like, I was not on Soul Train. Skincare in high school and middle school, nothing. Literally, I had to unlearn the basics. Washing your face. At one point in my life, I was using a bar of soap, and that was it. I was falling in love with products that were terrible not only for my hair, but terrible for the environment. So those are sort of like my early learnings, which is now why I create products that are vegan, that are clean for hair, for skin. I think not being educated on what these things are is why we make poor decisions. My other grandma, she used Vaseline. So that was her skincare regimen. It was, all right, y'all, I'm going to bed, I'm gonna wash my face and slather on Vaseline. Or there were like these cold creams back in the day that people used. But it was really nothing that was, sort of passed down traditionally. You think that it's working, but then years later, you sort of see these effects on your skin. Talking about clean beauty and what it means to me and what it means to my community and people of color. So I think educating people, letting them know that they do have choices, helping them understand the effects, really, it's what matters. My goal is to pass down these skin and hair care traditions that are clean, that are non-toxic, so that we can continue to have the conversation and teach our next generation.
How do you feel about Ayana?
Oh, she's a great niece.
I mean, that's your
She's
daughter.
the one and only, a very special daughter,
What makes her so special?
because she cares about me and takes care of me.
And what types of fun things do you
There's
guys?
a lot of, she has a great sense of humor, and she's responsible. A lot of good things.
I have a son, and I love the idea of me passing down tradition, especially when it comes to beauty and skincare. I teach him about skincare, hair care. He loves to moisturize. He loves clean skin. He loves clean hair. So it's a conversation. And sometimes I'll see him and I'm like, ooh, your hair looks dry. Come here, let me moisturize it. So literally I will grab him and put on my J'adore L'Amour Biotin Boost serum. If you go to his Instagram page, he's probably like smiling really big. His teeth look great. And then he also talks about his skin and his hair. Again, teaching the next generation about skincare, hair care, overall health and wellness and beauty. I think that we're all continuing our education with learning, whether it's beauty or if it's skincare or just sort of self-love or how to become a better person. And I think that I'm a student of life. And I always say that with a preference of not just education, because I do love education. I find myself taking classes, but it's one of those things where it's like, how can I better myself? Which falls into the category of beauty. It falls into the category of skin. It falls into the category of hair. And constantly doing the research to find out, what technology or science has, become available, to create a product. So for me, it's, I want to be forever young. So what is it that I need to switch in my regimen, or what new product do I need to introduce that helps me accomplish that? But not just me, but other people that also aspire to have a certain look. I think lifestyle, beauty, wellness, it all falls into the same category.